What up, guys? Hope everyone's having a great day, and hopefully people didn't get too screwed on this little relief rally slash bull trap today. So something that we've been discussing on SPY for a while now was this idea of a bear flag potentially, which we did get a pop out of. But there was still this range that we were discussing from, if anybody can remember, that if you watch my videos regularly, you most likely by now know that the key support was 96.30-ish to 401.30. And if you've been following these, if you've been following these levels, then, more power to you, because they are paying out, right? Because when we popped up and we came up to that 407-ish, we started stalling. If you've been learning how to use candle bodies to confirm your trades, then you are killing it. Because here's the candle body close, put a trend line across, and look what happens. No candle bodies closing above. Boom. All right. Perfect short position. Bang. Break the levels. Come down. Bang. Break the levels. Come down. And then what level was our key level? 401.30. We break it, we back test it, and we fall. So at that point, we know where we're coming to. Most likely, so I can't say I'm perfect on my 396.30, because it actually seems to me like when we got this bounce here, it was 396.56. So that was the bottom wick. However, we can say that the 401.30 is absolutely impressive, because bang, back test, support here, rallies back up, bang, can't close above. And then what does it do? It just falls. So now I have a new level here, which is the 390.54. That's just based off of the wick. You could bring it up to the bodies if you'd like. Obviously, right now, pre-market, we are below, or actually post-market, sorry. Post-market, we're below that level. We just want to pat ourselves on the back a little bit here, because all these levels have been banger short position spots. And just, it's been working out great, making a lot of fucking money right now. So I'm absolutely hyped. And I hope you guys are as well. So now we lost the low. This was the previous low right here. You could chalk it up to, I would chalk it up to 393.50 to a low of 392.74. But one thing that I want to consider is getting a potential rally. Even if we might come a little bit lower, maybe it dips a little bit lower, but I am expecting some type of rally, a relief rally, to come in play. I'm not quite sure how it's going to play out. If it does get this relief rally, it doesn't have to, but I think markets are getting a little bit extended to the downside for now. They should need a little bit of pop. We have a couple areas here. We have this 399.18. That's going to be significant potentially if jobs number comes in hot. Obviously, we could just roll over. I'm not even sure what time it is at, so hopefully I can figure that out soon, because that'll give me more of a clarity of, like, is this going to be able to rally into that number, or is the number coming in first thing in the morning? We're going to continue down and then get a bounce. I'm not sure. I guess it's going to really play off of that. Hopefully it'll be a little later in the day. That'll give everything a little bit of time to potentially chop its way up into some resistance, and then give us a nice area to grab some shorts. So for now on SPY, I'm not too sure how it's going to play out just yet. We could still just go down a bit lower and come down to about this 387.82. This this white trend line isn't just random. I know this chart looks like absolute trash, but you guys know, if you watch my channel, this is how my chart looks after I've been doing a lot of shorting and stuff, because that's what I do. So we had our resistance, resistance, resistance. So now is it going to be potentially, support, 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 and then somehow it does end up managing to, which would look absolutely stupid if it just chops in here and ends up going back down to the low of 377.70, and who knows, that's possible, and that's based off of candle body closes as well. Right here, Scoop, couldn't close above. Scoop, couldn't really. We pushed above, but we couldn't hold it as support. Then we kind of back tested it, held it as support. It's really a range from 369 to 377, kind of a big range, but something to keep in mind. But anyway, so now it kind of looks like we're just kind of coming back down to some previous support, which really the key support for me is that 377.70 area. You can see right here, 370, we'll call it 377.90. That's something to keep in mind if we do just kind of continue down here. And then another support area could be 386.25. 386.25 is a very big level for me. I'm not too concerned about like this trend line as much as I am with the candle body levels. So, the 388.15 is one, the 386.25 is another, and the 377.91 is the biggest. So that's kind of where I'm at with SPY. But, these are some levels that we're going to watch on the downside, and then some levels on the upside. Still, 396.58 and 401.30. And if we are extremely weak, then roughly 394 to 393.50, we'll call it. And that's really just based off of this right here is 394.50. These two candle body closes pretty much close to the same place. And then this 393.30 is off of this candle body here. So that's where we're at right there. Call it that. 393.44. All right, so that's that. Let's check out NVDA. This was the one I was discussing in my last video, and I was talking about we could be looking for some shorts. Now, it didn't really play out too damn well in the first day at all, actually, because we were down in the lows, and I was looking for it to get a relief rally and then come up and then test some of those levels that we had discussed, which was 385, 338.85, 338.16, and these are just off of memory, 337.44. And right off the bat, we pushed right up to 337, 338. We stalled there a little bit, and then we just started rallying. But the thing was if you look down at a 5-minute, this was something that kind of gave us clarity that, like, hey, this thing is actually holding up. We just chopped around, and we held this, pretty much we held like 238 for quite some time right here. And we kind of just made like, it kind of looked like it could have been it was actually more of like a ascending triangle a little bit, where this level right here of this 240 was kind of very significant. And then we had this lovely ascending triangle, and then if you pull the measured move of that potentially, and then we say, hey, how high could this thing go? Put a target up there, boom, and it targeted really 243.60. So that was kind of what happened. So originally I did buy some shorts here, and then it pulled down to 36, and then it started just chopping in here, and I was just like, man, this is taking a long time, and ended up having to close some of that position. And then I ended up grabbing another short at 242s, which at that point I did hold on to it, 242.50s, and held on to it. And I got busy throughout the day, so I actually had to put my phone aside for a while, and this all happened within. But I held on to it, and usually I don't do that. I would just put my $50 stop loss and call it a day. Kind of glad that I didn't, because obviously the market completely rolled over and fell on its face. Now, the thing is with NVIDIA, I'm looking at a 5-minute, but I'm actually, the reason that I'm talking about shorting NVIDIA so much is because I just think it's extremely overextended to the upside. And I don't know if it's a rising wedge or not. This is just an idea that I have. But I do think that after whatever this is, 13, 11 candles, straight green candles, man, I think it's time to start getting a little bit of a correction, even if it just ends up, having this downtrend choppiness. But we know our levels here. We know all the levels up here. I'm not too familiar with the levels down here yet, but we can always look and find them. I'm not going to look for them just now. But tomorrow I am looking for this to, hopefully get a bounce coming, maybe down at that we're at 333.17, I think, like right now. That's like this body right there. So this could be a level that it ends up holding. And if it does end up continuing to rally here, there could still be more room if this was a rising wedge of some sort. But, you know, I kind of like the idea of NVIDIA coming back up. I don't really think it's going to just dump on its face here. Might come down and test 231.40s, and it might even come down, if this support is going to work out, 230.15s. Maybe it bounces there, but I kind of wouldn't mind seeing it come back up and potentially test some of those highs again. So I am going to be keeping that in mind, because it's been very strong, even though it had this terrible double top that was brewing. So on a downside target, just based off of like a double top scenario, this is just a rough target. If this was to happen and we did confirm the neckline of the M pattern, you're looking at down in the 224 area, which is really where we were before, right in the same zone right here. So I'm not too concerned about this just yet, but I'm curious to see if we do just have to make our way down here. But I don't think we're going to come straight down. I honestly think we're going to have a relief pot that we might be able to potentially play, and it might work out. So with that being said, we kind of know our levels, but I did change my levels a little bit now that I saw some more price action occur. So just so we know, with NVDA, I am switching up. I'm going to do I'm going to say 239.06, 239.53, and 240.26. Those are my levels up on the top side. And if we just get like a little small bounce, then watch the 236.60 and the 235.74. That's where I'm at right now. I'm not sure what's going to happen, honestly. This is going to be a crazy day tomorrow, but I am going to go in with caution. I'm not going to just jump right in, potentially, unless things are just popping off the handle right off the first opening, which I don't really see that's going to happen. Then maybe I'll be like, whoa, this is getting a little bit out of hand. I'm going to take a little bit of whatever. So anyway, so let's take a look at Tesla. This is another one that we were talking about. The last time I believe that I made a video on this. Oh, okay, no. I made two videos. So the first video on Tesla was about this 195.44 being amazing short. That's exactly what it ended up having happen. And it did short. We did have a great short on that. Now, a short idea on that. Now, the thing that I was talking about with you guys in the last Tesla video was these two scenarios. I was considering that we could come up and retest 193.27 or retest the 195 if we got momentum. But what was the key area that we were discussing that we needed to see potentially coming in as a back test? And I don't even know. I think it might have happened so fast that you can't even find it unless you're on a 1 minute. It was... Let's see the price action. Yeah, I don't even know if we're going to get to say, like... I think it... Did it just open up and dump? Or did we... Oh, we got a little bit of pump here, right? We had this little pattern here. What was this? Tuesday, yep. So, oh, today's Wednesday. Well, I think this was from the other day when I was making a video on it. And I was talking about us coming up to potentially this 190 to retest it, or the 188.85. So somewhere in there. And it looks like this was on Tuesday that I made this video, I think. Were we at 190? Shit, I don't remember it. I probably have to look back at my video. But we were... I can't really talk about what happened, but I can tell you that it freaking dumped. But I'm pretty sure I was talking about it. If we can break this 188.85, come back test the 190s, that might work. It was probably somewhere in this range here, where it opened up pretty low, spiked up here to 90s, came down, tried to double bottom off this 88s, but it really just made a lower high, lower high, lower high, and then we fell through the floor. Then we made this sideways consolidation, and then I was talking about how if we were going to see some lows, it could be that 178 area, which actually didn't end up coming into very much of an idea whatsoever because we fell right through it. But that's because we had this right here. So we had this descending triangle here, and we had a very strong fake breakout that came back up and was just instantly slammed right down. So that just shows you how weak Tesla really is right now. And you can see the level that it did backtest pretty much right here at this 86 area. Well, let me undo my... Yeah, it was right at that 86 area anyway. But shit, I didn't do much watching on Tesla, and I kind of mad about it because this was an amazing short right here. We had so much consolidation right here, just proving to us that, hey, this thing is ready to go. So this would have been an excellent short entry. If not, it give you a perfect entry right here. So you can see how we had this potential pattern that I drew out and was wicking right down to it, and it was exactly at roughly 180. We broke that 180. We came back. We came up to 180.40, but the body closed directly below, and then we continued on the downtrend there. And then we came up, we back tested the previous area right here of where bodies were closing, boom, and we fell again. So that's just something to always keep in mind. That's why we go over these body candle closes. So the next key area for me on Tesla that I was talking about was, off of the fib, was the 173.63, which we're obviously below it right now. The 0.5 fib is at 160. I mean, we could be coming down there, guys. This is probably it has more room on the downside on the RSI here. You can see on the 4 hour it does get down into this pretty low range here, so it's not like it's overextended to the downside yet, which is the crazy part. It could even go lower. It could go down to the 0.618 at 146. I think it would get a bounce before then, but I don't know if we would bounce here, though. I think we might bounce at the 160, come back up, maybe retest the 190 as resistance, potentially. I mean, shit, what happened here? So let's look over here on the left. So we had a wick that came up to 200. It dropped all the way down to 167. Then it rallied all the way up in a couple of in about a week. It rallied from 167 to 198. Then it came down and it broke that low. Then it traveled all the way downside. So that being said, Tesla is going to be one of those things that, although this looks like, holy shit, it's just going to keep on going down, it can put in quite a rally when it finds its bottom. I don't know where that bottom is going to be exactly. I was looking at that 173 area, but not sure so much right now. So maybe the 160 to maybe 167, because that was a low wick right there. 166.70. That could be an area for us to keep our eyes peeled on. If we do see a bounce, that would be an area. If we lose that area, then you pretty much know that you might be able to pull it quite a ways down. I mean, if we go off of candle bodies, the candle body is 168.85. That might be a level to keep an eye on if we do reach that. And I think we might. Maybe we bounce off of that, because that would be closer to where we are right now. Tough to say right now, but I do want to see some bouncing so I can get some better short positions in some of these things. So Apple, I don't remember. I think the last video I talked about Apple, we were at 156.30, and I was talking about that it was looking like a good short, and then potentially bring it down to 151.40, I think was my area. I wanted to see it hold the 154 area, which did not happen. It pretty much just fell right down to 151. So that would have been a great spot to short. And then when we came back here, this 154.52, this was an amazing entry. It worked out perfectly based off of like previous candle body closes here. You see candle body closes, mainly right there, and then probably there was a little bit of area right here. Look at this, candle body closed right on top, candle body closed right on top. I mean, there's definitely some significant area between 154 and 154.52. But yeah, so that just got the absolute smackdown. And that 149.16 is a pretty important level for me. 150 is important to a lot of people, but I think that if we break the 150, we could look for some support on this 149.16 before looking for some lower prices like down in the 45s. But if we do, then this will be the area to look for. Once again, could be down to 154.78. That's a level that I did like seeing hold previously, just based off of the wicks here. Boom, 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 boom. Multiple buyers right there. So this will be a level to definitely watch. Yeah, but this market's getting spicy. Let's see Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin doing right now? 20,000, huh? yeah, I mean, I've been charting Bitcoin quite a bit. Rising, broadening wedge, held that support. This was the first time I called short was here. Second time I called short was here. And this was the biggest one. That one gave some real good wins. And then, actually we went down to 19.7. We're starting to get a little extended on the downside, though, here, in my opinion. But maybe it just keeps rallying up. Key support for me is that 20,400. I honestly thought we were going to bounce on it. We just cut right through it like a knife, consolidated underneath it, went sideways, and then we just rolled right over. So it is just kind of building something. I don't know what yet. This is just speculation. It's got some kind of downtrending channel here for now. So next resistance, 20,225. Even if you break that, I really just don't think until you reclaim 20,400 that it's going to really do much, except for potentially could just trend down. So that's just something to consider. The breakout of this, if we are going to do something like that, is, I don't even know if I'd like to call it anything, but 15.4. That would be pretty ugly. But we're going to have to wait and see. I think it would bounce before then, but depends on what this market wants to do. 18,900 has some pretty critical support here from this double bottom. That 24 was definitely a level, 20,400 to 20,418. That was a pretty strong level right here. If we actually went off of candle bodies and not wicks, 20,200. Yeah, 20,300 right there. Boom. Couldn't clear it. Held it as support, then failed it. Then what did we do? Fell all the way down, had resistance at 17.6. So yeah, this is going to be definitely something to keep our eyes on here, because it is definitely in free fall. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a bounce though soon. We're starting to get a little bit of green candles, a little bit of bullish divergence on the 1 hour here, RSI. So this could chill out on the selling pressure for a bit. So maybe we will end up rallying. 22K, very big resistance now. That's going to be the new resistance if it really decided to get a big pump. And then looks like when we lost and back tested 21.8 as resistance, that really started to drop. So if Bitcoin decided to get any type of bullish momentum off of these lows, I'd be looking for 22,300 as a top ticker, and then the 21.8 to 21.5 as key resistance on that. And then lastly, we can look at SHIB, because I did make a video on SHIB. We didn't quite get to my low idea, but it did put in a little bit of a double bottom lower high currently. It's building something here. Could call this a little bit of a breakout here, but the key resistance for me anyway is the 1080. So I have a trend line from this potential pattern, or whatever this hell this thing was. Support. So if this thing does come back up, it might just back test this as resistance here at 1045 and then reject. I like the idea of it coming all the way back up to reject off of 1100 or 1080 if it does get a significant bounce from here. So that's just where I'm at with that. I'm not too concerned. I don't think it's going to just completely, absolutely blow up to the upside. I'm still going to just wait and see if we can ever reclaim this 1209. That's probably where I would get long. Otherwise, I'm still looking at this low of 937 or this low of 841. So it's a pretty big range, but we do have to keep that in mind. We're not far from it. We just dropped from 1100 down to 976 in one damn candle, basically. You know what I mean? So for it to get all the way back down here, it's not going to be that hard. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get there in the coming weeks, but I do think that it's a little bit extended. Probably needs to start its rally back up, maybe fake some people out, come all the way up, retest, maybe try that 1200 again and see what happens. Then it ends up doing something like that. That's possible too. So just keep that in mind. If you want to do any swing trades, you could try something. down in these lows. I don't mind it. But it depends if Bitcoin's going to break 20,400 right now or not. But I'm not sure. So I don't know if I'm going to take any of these trades just yet. Could be a little double bottom though. Just watch this high if you are in SHIB or trying to play SHIB. All you have to do, put your trend line here across the body and look for it to reclaim 1020. And you start chopping and finding support on 1020, make some type of pattern, boom, play that breakout, and you in. So that's kind of what we'd want to like see. But then the problem is, then you have to watch this area here, which then you want to see newfound support there on 1050. So maybe wait for 1050 for the safer entry. If we get back above 1050, then people might start stepping in. And then you can play it back up maybe to 1140. But anyway, I got to go. I'll talk more hopefully tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.